Alright, everybody, I've returned with another commentary video. I would have done one earlier if I had the time, but I had classes and work and other stuff going on. But I am free to script and record this once again, so yeah. The first one I uploaded only got one view, which is fair since it was the first upload in a while, and also so completely different than my other content that just, yeah, I'd expect it to not do that well. Anyways, this is the story of how I biked all the way up to my nearest 7-Eleven. So for context, I live in an area that is pretty far from anything of note. The closest places that aren't homes or roads near me are a truck stop and a 7-Eleven. I also didn't have a driver's license at the time. I don't have one right now, but I'll probably sort that all out soon. Anyway, so I'm bored as hell, lounging around the house on a hot July day. I don't really have a reason to go anywhere that isn't like shopping for my own food or going to work, so I can't really catch a ride. I mean, I just want to, go somewhere new, but I don't really have like a concrete idea on where to go. So, while I'm just sitting around, utterly bored with everything, I suddenly get an idea. What if I rode my bike up to 7-Eleven? Now keep in mind, this isn't like I'm riding out of like my gated community to the 7-Eleven up the street. I'm basically going to have to be riding up off the side of a road for 30 minutes because car-centric infrastructure is a nightmare. I'd sort of had thoughts about this before, but I never really fully committed until then. I once looked up, hey, is it like legal to ride your bike on the side of a road? Am I gonna be like arrested if I do that? And everything I read online said, uh, yeah, you can do that, just like bike with traffic. I also begun like making like little baby steps going out the road from my neighborhood over to this T section at the end, mainly because of my increasing boredom having no ride and no place to go. So I go out, grab my bike from a shed, and just ride off into the day. I notably do not do anything to prepare myself for this hour-long 2LA journey on a hot southern July day. This will be important later. So I get to the end of a road that leads out of my neighborhood and I turn right because that's the way to where 7-Eleven is. I don't know if I just like invented this memory or if this actually happened since this was like all from a year ago, but I distinctly remember this big ass lumber truck just whizzing past me as I went down that road. That was pretty much my first sign that this wasn't going to be easy. Since after I turned right, there was like this pretty decline that I went down super fast. I think that was like the best ride down a downward slope that I've ever had in my life. However, all things that go down must go up, so I had to work my way up this equally steep slope at the other side. I ride over for a little bit until I find this clearing, which is like full of chopped down trees, where something quickly becomes apparent. I have not hydrated. So I just continue forward and I am quickly drying out. I did not bring a water bottle with me because I underestimated how much this journey would take out of me. I was like, 30 minutes to the gas station? I can hold out for that long. So for like the next however long it was, I'm pretty much just like pushing myself through the side of a road, feeling absolutely dried out and tired. Cars are constantly moving past me, so I'm worried about that. And yeah, it was a pretty painful experience. So I eventually make this way to another downward slope, and I have fun riding down that. However, at the bottom, this gigantic fucking semi truck just moves past me, and I have to like pull over at the side of the road. I am like, Jesus, that could have killed me. That I could have died. Jeez, I don't think I want to do this anymore. but I can't just go back. So I basically just power myself up the incline, and I am almost at the 7-Eleven. So I move up to the entrance of the 7-Eleven's parking lot, and I am pretty much searching for a good place to put my bike. There's no bike rack because you're not supposed to ride your bike up here. I pretty much just put it like on the side of a building. You know, if someone has a problem with it, then they have a problem with it. I don't really care. Anyways, I go inside the 7-Eleven to get a snack and a drink like I do sometimes on road trips, so I look around for some good stuff. My drink of choice was a Mountain Dew Baja Blast, which I mentioned in the final meal video. I actually got it because I remembered watching this video which detailed a guy making this scheme to steal as much Baja Blast as possible from Taco Bell back when it was the only place I had the drink available. I will probably link that in the description or something. Anyway, so despite the fact that it was permanently available at the time, it became permanently available like almost a decade before I made my trip. Jesus, like, isn't it crazy that 2016 is going to be like 10 years old next year? Damn. Yeah, despite the fact that it is permanently available now, I still thought it was exclusive to Taco Bell because I didn't really know about that. So when I see the bottle in like the big aisle of coolers, I'm like, ah shit, this must be like a new thing now. And the other item I bought was a Hershey's Cookies and Cream bar because, you know, the sugar is probably gonna help me be more energetic. I walk up to the counter and I have this sudden bone-shaking revelation. I don't have my wallet on me. So I go up to the cashier and I go, "Hey, do you have like Apple Pay or something?" And she's like, "Yeah, we have Apple Pay." So that crisis has been averted easily. That was just like something I wanted to mention because if that 7-Eleven did not have Apple Pay, I would have been in the doghouse. I would have been so screwed. I savor every bite of my cookies and cream candy bar, and once I finished that, I immediately got on my bike and began racing back. The journey back, of course, was harder than the journey to. At some points throughout, I didn't even bother trying to ride my bike, and I simply just ran alongside it, trying to because it felt faster doing that than if I had just kept riding. I pretty much had to do that for every uphill climb I had to do because there was no way I was gonna be able to summon the strength to get back up after what I'd done. Already sore body was just begging to get back home. I remember just pushing myself up that slope at the start, and I was just hoping that the last few steps of Baja Blast I had taken could carry me all the way home. So after pushing my body to its limits, I finally made it back to the T section. I was glad that I was finally in familiar territory once again. I made my way home, rejoicing with every checkpoint that I had mentally created of everything from the road into my neighborhood back to my house. That was just... Once I was finally back home, I was on cloud 9. This was something that I needed to brag about. This was impressive. So I ended up telling my mom. She chewed me out about it, as I somehow did not expect at the time. Yeah, it was a very stupid thing for me to do since, I could have very easily gotten hit by a car. And I also could have unintentionally caused a disaster because of someone trying to give me the free feet required by law and ending up hitting someone on the other side of the road. Sorry. Funny thing to note before the story ends, because I am very chronically untidy, I ended up putting the Baja Blast bottle on my desk as a kind of a proud trophy of my journey for like a couple months. And that's pretty much all I have to say. If you liked the video, please hit that like button and type out a comment explaining what you liked about it. If you want to see more and know when more is available, please subscribe and get yourself certified and notified. I'll be taking my leave now. Peace.